So what you're saying is you'd like to make some changes to your nutrition and your health, but not sure if the changes will impact your future health. So you're debating whether it is important enough to invest your energy into changing your nutrition.
Exactly.
So would it be helpful in making a decision if I went through the dietary guidelines and we discussed the health risks for women aged 56 and onwards?
That would be a help. Run me through it.
Well, after menopause, changes to the spread of body fat and body shape increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. Now, before menopause, women have a lower risk of heart disease than men, but as women age and their estrogen levels go down, after that, the risk of cardiovascular disease increases. Now, it's very important to reduce the risk by exercising regularly, which you do, having healthy weight, which you have, and eating a healthy diet. Now, this means eating the right balance of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, fish, lean meats, legumes, nuts, and healthy oils. But we can go through the guidelines in more detail.
I think I'm doing some things right here.
Yes, it sounds like you are. But another risk factor you might be facing is more common for women after menopause, which is osteoporosis. Now, this is because of the lower levels of estrogen. Now, alcohol and high caffeine intake, being 5 to 6 cups per day, can also increase the risks. So it's important for bone health to have adequate calcium intake. Your diet should include foods containing calcium such as dairy, canned fish with bones, and sardines are great. Almonds, tofu, leafy green vegetables and legumes such as chickpeas or kidney beans.
Osteoporosis. My mum had a fracture recently and they said she has osteoporosis. And I'm really worried because fractures in older people can be really serious. Do you know if there's a genetic link?
I'm sorry to hear that, but yes, fractures can be really serious when people are older. And yes, there is a genetic link, so the fact that your mother has osteoporosis would increase your risk.
Okay, maybe I should have a look at my diet. Can you run me through those guidelines?
Sure.
That makes sense. I think there are things that I could change, just that my priorities are work and family, and I'm not sure I have the time and the energy to make the necessary changes.
So on one hand, you are busy looking after your career and family, and on the other hand, you can see there are areas that could change that would protect your health.
Exactly.
Okay. How about we explore this a bit further to gain more clarity about whether to invest changing nutrition if you would like?
Sure.
Okay, so do you have a health and wellness vision? That's a picture of the way you see yourself living in either the near future or after retirement.
Yes, I do. I see myself as having a very healthy and active retirement, being able to travel overseas with my husband and enjoy our years of work and also take care of my mother, and having the energy to work as long as I want to without sacrificing energy for my family.
Well, that's great, because having a health and wellness vision can help mobilise motivation when you're working on small changes. It helps to keep the bigger picture in mind. Now, thinking of your vision can keep you on track and provide direction and focus. It is also important because it's tied in with your values.
How is my health and wellness vision tied to my values?
People's values and beliefs shape behaviours. They are strong motivating forces. They influence whether we change, stop or start a new behaviour. We feel comfortable when our behaviours are in line with our values and our beliefs, and if they are not in line, we usually try to either adjust our beliefs, values, change our behaviours, or seek more information to reduce the dissonance felt. It might be helpful for you to explore your values because they represent what matters to you most.
Okay, so my values are about being a good parent and a good role model to my boys, to be a caring daughter to my mum, and a supportive wife to my husband. I value being influential and successful in my career, and I value always presenting myself well and always having the energy to do everything that I want to in my life.
And if you were to think about your health behaviours, are they aligned with your values?
Well, I'm fit and I exercise regularly, so that's a good role model for my boys. I'm also in my healthy weight range, which aligns with my value of presenting well. And you know that staying fit and healthy really helps with my energy levels and my career success.
Okay, that's great. Are there any other areas that aren't aligned?
Oh, I know where you're going with this. I do drink way too much coffee throughout the day, and I think I use it as a prop when I'm trying to get more energy to get more done, whereas in the back of my mind I know that I should be having more water, better quality rest and more regular healthy meals, but I just have coffee to prop myself up. Hearing what you've said, it's probably not great for my bone health either. And actually I do feel a bit guilty with some of my eating habits when I think of being a healthy role model to my boys and staying healthy to look after my mum and having a good retirement with my husband and living long enough to play with my future grandkids.
Your coffee intake doesn't align with your value of taking care of yourself, being energetic and protecting your health for the long term. You also feel some of your eating habits may not be setting a good example for your boys and may not guarantee healthy years in your retirement to be able to be the responsible daughter and take care of your mum, share the rewards of hard work with your husband and be strong enough to play with your future grandkids.
That is true. My eating habits are a lot more important than I initially thought.
So, if you were to think about changing your nutrition now, how important is it to you now that with this new perspective?
Definitely, a lot more important. I think I do need to have a better look at my eating habits and work out what I can change. Coffee might have to be the first thing to go, or at least be cut down.
Now, did you want to make a goal today to start working on, or should I leave it with you and you can let me know next week?
Leave it with me. I'll think about what I have to do to move my nutrition intake closer to those guidelines and let you know what my thoughts are next week. Start to see if I can reduce some of my coffee intake because I'm on 5 or 6 a day at the moment, so if I can get that down to 3 a day before next week, I'll be really happy with that, and maybe we can talk about it then.
Great. Did you want to work through a plan to get the coffee intake down, or did you want to leave that till next week as well?
I'll see how it goes, so we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, sure. To summarise before you head off, to make sure we're on the same page, over the next week you'll attempt to reduce your coffee intake and we can check in and see how you go. Now you'll also have a think about your food intake and how it compares to the guidelines and whether there are some changes you could make in line that would help your values and your vision.
That's the plan.
Is there anyone you would like to share your plan with or the information that we discussed today?
Yeah, I'll tell my husband and my PA because she gets me at least 2 cups of my coffee every day.
Great. Well, all the best for next week and I'll see you then.
Thanks, Kate. Great session. See you then.